children. Chapter 30. When Rachel saw that she wasn't having any children, she became jealous of her sister.
"Give me children, or I'll die!"
she exclaimed to Jacob. Jacob flew into a rage.
"Am I God?"
he asked.
"He is the only one able to give you children."
Then Rachel told him.
"Sleep with my servant Bilhah, and she will bear children for me."
So Rachel gave him Bilhah to be his wife, and Jacob slept with her. Bilhah became pregnant and presented him with a son. Rachel named him Dan, for she said,
"God has vindicated me. He has heard my request and given me a son."
Then Bilhah became pregnant again and gave Jacob a second son. Rachel named him Naphtali, for she said,
"I have had an intense struggle with my sister, and I am winning."
Meanwhile, Leah realized that she wasn't getting pregnant anymore, so she gave her servant Zilpah to Jacob to be his wife. Soon Zilpah presented him with another son. Leah named him Gad, for she said,
"How fortunate I am!"
Then Zilpah produced a second son, and Leah named him Asher, for she said,
"What joy is mine! The other women will consider me happy indeed."
One day during the wheat harvest, Reuben found some mandrakes growing in a field and brought the roots to his mother Leah. Rachel begged Leah to give some of them to her, but Leah angrily replied,
"Wasn't it enough that you stole my husband? Now will you steal my son's mandrake roots too?"
Rachel said,
"I will let him sleep with you tonight in exchange for the mandrake roots."
So that evening, as Jacob was coming home from the fields, Leah went out to meet him.
"You must sleep with me tonight,"
she said.
"I have paid for you with some mandrake roots my son has found."
So Jacob slept with her, and God answered her prayers. She became pregnant again and gave birth to her fifth son. She named him Issachar, for she said,
"God has rewarded me for giving my servant to my husband as a wife."
Then she became pregnant again and had a sixth son. She named him Zebulun, for she said,
"God has given me good gifts for my husband. Now he will honor me, for I have given him 6 sons."
Later she gave birth to a daughter and named her Dinah. Then God remembered Rachel's plight and answered her prayers by giving her a child. She became pregnant and gave birth to a son.
"God has removed my shame,"
she said, and she named him Joseph, for she said,
"May the Lord give me yet another son."
Soon after Joseph was born to Rachel, Jacob said to Laban,
"I want to go back home. Let me take my wives and children, for I have earned them from you, and let me be on my way. You know I have fully paid for them with my service to you."
"Please, don't leave me,"
Laban replied,
"for I have learned by divination that the Lord has blessed me because you are here. How much do I owe you? Whatever it is, I'll pay it."
Jacob replied,
"You know how faithfully I have served you through these many years, and how your flocks and herds have grown. You had little indeed before I came, and your wealth has increased enormously. The Lord has blessed you from everything I do. But now, what about me? When should I provide for my own family?"
"What wages do you want?"
Laban asked again. Jacob replied,
"Don't give me anything at all. Just do one thing, and I'll go back to work for you. Let me go out among your flocks today and remove all the sheep and goats that are speckled or spotted, along with all the dark-colored sheep. Give them to me as my wages. This will make it easy for you to see whether or not I have been honest. If you find in my flock any white sheep or goats that are not speckled, you will know that I have stolen them from you."
"All right,"
Laban replied.
"It will be as you have said."
But that very day Laban went out and removed all the male goats that were speckled and spotted, the females that were speckled and spotted with any white patches, and all the dark-colored sheep. He placed them in the care of his sons, and they took them 3 days' distance from where Jacob was. Meanwhile, Jacob stayed and cared for Laban's flock. Now Jacob took fresh shoots from poplar, almond, and plane trees and peeled off strips of the bark to make white streaks on them. Then he set up these peeled branches beside the watering trough so Laban's flocks would see them as they came to drink, for that was when they mated. So when the flocks mated in front of the white-streaked branches, all of their offspring were streaked, speckled, and spotted. Jacob added them to his own flock, thus separating the lambs from Laban's flock. Then at mating time he turned the flocks toward the streaked, and dark-colored rams in Laban's flock. This is how he built his flock from Laban's. Whenever the stronger females were ready to mate, Jacob set up the peeled branches in front of them. But he didn't do this with the weaker ones. So the weaker lambs belonged to Laban, and the stronger ones were Jacob's. As a result, Jacob's flocks increased rapidly, and he became very wealthy, with many servants, camels, and donkeys. Chapter 31. But Jacob soon learned that Laban's sons were beginning to grumble.
"Jacob has robbed our father,"
they said.
"All his wealth has been gained at our father's expense."
And Jacob began to notice a considerable cooling in Laban's attitude toward him. Then the Lord said to Jacob, "Return to the land of your father and grandfather and to your relatives there, and I will be with you." Jacob called Rachel and Leah out to the field where he was watching the flocks, so he could talk things over with them.
Your father has turned against me and is not treating me like he used to,
He told them.
but the God of my father has been with me. You know how hard I have worked for your father, but he has tricked me, breaking his wage agreement with me again and again. But God has not allowed him to do me any harm. For if he said the speckled animals were mine, the whole flock began to produce speckled lambs. And when he changed his mind and said I could have the streaked ones, then all the lambs were born streaked. In this way God has made me wealthy at your father's expense. During the mating season I had a dream, and saw that the male goats mating with the flock were streaked, speckled, and spotted. Then in my dream the angel of God said to me, "Jacob?" And I replied, "Yes, I'm listening." The angel said, "Look, and you will see that only the streaked, speckled, and spotted males are mating with the females of your flock. For I have seen all that Laban has done to you. I am the God you met at Bethel, the place where you anointed the pillar of stone and made a vow to serve me. Now leave this country and return to the land you came from."
Rachel and Leah said,
That's fine with us. There's nothing for us here. None of our father's wealth will come to us anyway.
He has reduced our rights to those of foreign women. He sold us, and what he received for us has disappeared.
The riches God has given you from our father are legally ours and our children's to begin with.
So go ahead and do whatever God has told you.
So Jacob put his wives and children on camels, and drove the flocks in front of him, all the livestock he had acquired at Padan Aram, and set out on his journey to the land of Canaan, where his father Isaac lived. At the time they left, Laban was some distance away shearing his sheep. Rachel stole her father's household gods and took them with her. They set out secretly and never told Laban they were leaving. Jacob took all his possessions with him and crossed the Euphrates River heading for the territory of Gilead. Laban didn't learn of their flight for 3 days, but when he did, he gathered a group of his relatives and set out in hot pursuit. He caught up with them 7 days later in the hill country of Gilead. But the previous night God had appeared to Laban in a dream. "Be careful about what you say to Jacob," he was told. So when Laban caught up with Jacob as he was camped in the hill country of Gilead, he set up his camp not far from Jacob's.
"What do you mean by speaking off like this?"
Laban demanded.
"Are my daughters prisoners, the plunder of war, that you have stolen them away like this? Why did you slip away secretly? I would have given you a farewell party with joyful singing accompanied by tambourines and harps. Why didn't you let me kiss my daughters and grandchildren and tell them goodbye? You have acted very foolishly. I could destroy you, but the God of your father appeared to me last night and told me, 'Be careful about what you say to Jacob.' I know you feel you must go, and you long intensely for your childhood home, but why have you stolen my household gods?"
I rushed away because I was afraid,
Jacob answered.
I said to myself, he'll take his daughters from me by force. But as for your household gods, let the person who has taken them die. If you find anything that belongs to you, I swear before all these relatives of ours, I will give it back without question."
But Jacob didn't know that Rachel had taken them. Laban went first into Jacob's tent to search there, then into Leah's, and then he searched the tents of the 2 concubines, but he didn't find the gods. Finally, he went into Rachel's tent. Rachel had taken the household gods and had stuffed them into her camel saddle, and now she was sitting on them. So although Laban searched all the tents, he couldn't find them.
Forgive my not getting up, Father.
Rachel explained.
I'm having my monthly period.
So despite his thorough search, Laban didn't find them. Then Jacob became very angry.
What did you find?
He demanded of Laban.
What is my crime? You have chased me as though I were a criminal. You have searched through everything I own. Now show me what you have found that belongs to you. Set it out here in front of us before our relatives for all to see. Let them decide who is the real owner. 20 years I have been with you, and all that time I cared for your sheep and goats so they produced healthy offspring. In all those years I never touched a single ram of yours for food. If any were attacked and killed by wild animals, did I show them to you and ask you to reduce the count of your flocks? No, I took the loss. You made me pay for every animal stolen from the flocks, whether the loss was my fault or not. I worked for you through the scorching heat of the day, and through cold and sleepless nights. Yes, 20 years, 14 of them earning your 2 daughters, and 6 years to get the flock. And you have reduced my wages 10 times. In fact, except for the grace of God, the God of my grandfather Abraham, the awe-inspiring God of my father Isaac, you would have sent me off without a penny to my name. But God has seen your cruelty and my hard work. That is why he appeared to you last night and vindicated me.
Then Laban replied to Jacob,
These women are my daughters, and these children are my grandchildren, and these flocks and all that you have, all are mine. But what can I do now to my own daughters and grandchildren? Come now, and we will make a peace treaty, you and I, and we will live by its terms.
So Jacob took a stone and set it up as a monument. He also told his men to gather stones and pile them up in a heap. Jacob and Laban then sat down beside the pile of stones to share a meal. They named it Witness Pile, which is Jigar Sahadutha in Laban's language and Galid in Jacob's.
This pile of stones will stand as a witness to remind us of our agreement.
Laban said. This place was also called Mizpah, for Laban said,
May the Lord keep watch between us, to make sure that we keep this treaty when we are out of each other's sight. I won't know about it if you are harsh to my daughters, or if you take other wives, but God will see it. This heap of stones and this pillar stand between us as a witness of our vows. I will not cross this line to harm you, and you will not cross it to harm me. I call on the God of our ancestors, the God of your grandfather Abraham, and the God of my grandfather Nahor, to punish either one of us who harms the other.
So Jacob took an oath before the awesome God of his father, Isaac, to respect the boundary line. Then Jacob presented a sacrifice to God and invited everyone to a feast. Afterward they spent the night there in the hills. Laban got up early the next morning, and he kissed his daughters and grandchildren and blessed them. Then he returned home. Chapter 32. As Jacob and his household started on their way again, angels of God came to meet him. When Jacob saw them, he exclaimed,
This is God's camp.
So he named the place Mahanaim. Jacob now sent messengers to his brother Esau in Edom, the land of Seir. He told them,
Give this message to my master Esau. Humble greetings from your servant Jacob. I have been living with Uncle Laban until recently, and now I own oxen, donkeys, sheep, goats, and many servants, both men and women. I have sent these messengers to inform you of my coming, hoping that you will be friendly to us.
The messengers returned with the news that Esau was on his way to meet Jacob, with an army of 400 men. Jacob was terrified at the news. He divided his household, along with the flocks and herds and camels, into 2 camps. He thought,
If Esau attacks one group, perhaps the other can escape.
Then Jacob prayed,
O God of my grandfather Abraham and my father Isaac, O Lord, you told me to return to my land and to my relatives, and you promised to treat me kindly. I am not worthy of all the faithfulness and unfailing love you have shown to me, your servant. When I left home, I owned nothing except a walking stick, and now my household fills 2 camps. O Lord, please rescue me from my brother Esau. I am afraid that he is coming to kill me, along with my wives and children. But you promised to treat me kindly, and to multiply my descendants until they became as numerous as the sands along the seashore, too many to count.
Jacob stayed where he was for the night, and prepared a present for Esau, 200 female goats, 20 male goats, 200 ewes, 20 rams, 30 female camels with their young, 40 cows, 10 bulls, 20 female donkeys, and 10 male donkeys. He told his servants to lead them on ahead, each group of animals by itself, separated by a distance in between. He gave these instructions to the men leading the first group.
When you meet Esau, he will ask, "Where are you going? Whose servants are you? Whose animals are these?" You should reply, "These belong to your servant Jacob. They are a present for his master Esau. He is coming right behind us."
Jacob gave the same instructions to each of the herdsmen and told them,
"You are all to say the same thing to Esau when you see him, and be sure to say, 'Your servant Jacob is right behind us.'"
Jacob's plan was to appease Esau with the presents before meeting him face to face.
Perhaps,
Jacob hoped.
he will be friendly to us.
So the presents were sent on ahead, and Jacob spent that night in the camp. But during the night Jacob got up and sent his 2 wives, 2 concubines, and 11 sons across the Jabbok River. After they were on the other side, he sent over all his possessions. This left Jacob all alone in the camp, and a man came and wrestled with him until dawn. When the man saw that he couldn't win the match, he struck Jacob's hip and knocked it out of joint at the socket. Then the man said,
Let me go, for it is dawn.
But Jacob panted.
"I will not let you go unless you bless me."
What is your name?
The man asked. He replied.
"Jacob."
Your name will no longer be Jacob.
The man told him.
It is now Israel, because you have struggled with both God and men and have won.
"What is your name?"
Jacob asked him.
Why do you ask?
The man replied. Then he blessed Jacob there. Jacob named the place Peniel, face of God, for he said,
"I have seen God face to face, yet my life has been spared."
The sun rose as he left Peniel, and he was limping because of his hip. That is why even today the people of Israel don't eat meat from near the hip, in memory of what happened that night.